warmest greetings to all of you. Welcome back to Craft Your Future, the channel dedicated to sharing knowledge for holistic personal growth through books. Renowned psychologist William Damon has pointed out that, in today's society, a growing sense of aimlessness is increasingly common among young people. What is this sense of aimlessness? Simply put, it's a state of feeling uninspired, lacking direction, motivation, and meaning in life. It's like an invisible shackle, imprisoning the souls of the young. Many people go through the expected motions. They attend school at the right age, go to university, graduate, and then dive into the hustle of earning a living, achieving a certain salary or position, buying a car, paying off a mortgage, and so on. On the surface, everything seems to be on track, but deep inside, they find life monotonous, repetitive, and devoid of true value or meaning. In the US, up to 45% of college students experience severe symptoms of depression. Psychologists have even coined a new term, emerging adulthood, to describe the many individuals who, after their youth, fail to transition smoothly into adulthood and instead linger in a vague space between youth and maturity. The author of the book we're exploring today, which I've translated as The Path to Purpose, How Young People Find Their Calling, is William Damon, a professor of education at Stanford University and one of the world's leading scholars on human development. Dubbed one of the 50 most influential psychologists globally, he notes that young people today often lack motivation due to an unclear understanding of goals. So, how should we set goals to avoid this sense of aimlessness and stop lingering in that ambiguous space between youth and adulthood? Let's dive into this insightful book, The Path to Purpose, to find out. I hope this episode, kicking off the new year, helps you chart a clear course and take confident steps on the path truly meant for you. May this journey bring you a life rich with meaning, freedom, and overflowing happiness. What kind of goal setter are you? Have you noticed that many young people around us live in a state of frustration or lack motivation each day? This lack of drive stems from abundant youthful energy with no outlet to channel it. During youth, the human brain is in a phase of rapid development and physical strength peaks at its most vibrant. If young people in this stage lack a grand, steadfast goal to aim for, they can easily slip into feelings of emptiness and frustration. Based on his research, the author divides young people into 4 typical groups. The first group is called the drifters. These individuals prioritize a comfortable, easygoing life. In interviews, people in this group rarely mention any clear goals. Their only concern is figuring out how to live more enjoyably. As a result, their minds are mostly occupied with novel pleasures, distractions, and relationships. About 25% of young people fall into this group, living comfortably and chasing instant gratification. Is that wrong? At first, this lifestyle might feel pleasant, but it leads to suffering later. For example, dining at fancy restaurants or checking in at trendy spots as a goal quickly becomes boring when the experiences repeat, lacking deeper meaning. Some young people spend hours binge-watching shows or playing games for instant entertainment, only to later feel their time was wasted, yielding no lasting value. The second group is the dreamers. These individuals are characterized by big fantasies but little action. They often share grand ideas and plans but never actually start working on them. Many dream of becoming stars or gaining widespread recognition without setting realistic goals. This group also makes up about 25%. The third group is the superficial. These individuals, in contrast, have plenty of goals and pursue them relentlessly. However, their goals often stem from pride, arrogance, or a desire for status. They focus heavily on chasing appearances and prestige, such as earning degrees to prove themselves or striving for promotions to affirm their position. Yet, after achieving these goals and working for a while, they often lose their initial enthusiasm and question the meaning of what they're doing. Motivation rooted in pride and status is rarely sustainable, and this group accounts for about 30% of young people. Finally, the fourth group is the purpose-driven. These individuals, making up about 20% of young people, identify clear goals, work diligently, stay focused, and see meaning behind each goal. There's also a small, unlisted group called the misguided, who have clear goals but pursue them for destructive reasons, like revenge or defiance against society. And summary, 80% of young people today live with a sense of aimlessness. Most fall into two camps. Either they lack goals entirely or they have too many goals that are misdirected. So where do you fit in, and what makes a goal truly well-directed? What defines a well-directed goal? Most people set goals to answer questions like, what do I need to achieve? Who do I want to become? These questions revolve around personal material desires. Meanwhile, the human brain prioritizes measurable numbers or actions. For instance, to master a language, many set a goal of learning a certain number of vocabulary words. To land a dream job, they aim for specific certifications or degrees. Or they expect to have 500 million VND by age 25, own an apartment or hold an enviable job by 30, and so on. When goals are quantified and driven by specific metrics, they often create a sense of working efficiently, moving in the right direction toward a prosperous, elite life. But the truth is, focusing solely on metrics doesn't mean you're living with truly well-directed goals. Remember, a goal is not just a metric. A well-directed goal must be grand and steadfast. The author states that a life's purpose is your ultimate passion, the final answer to the question, why? Why am I doing this? Why does it matter to me? Why is it important to me? A well-directed goal is the deep-rooted source behind short-term goals and the driving force behind most of your daily actions. If you want to live a life full of passion, resilience, and energy, you can't settle for chasing material, short-term goals. For example, many say, my goal is to buy a house. This may seem like a long-term goal, but it's really a short-term material one. It might motivate you for a while, maybe 5 or even 10 years, but afterward, you'll ask yourself, is the house really that important? Or, once achieved, you may realize the house doesn't bring the happiness you expected. As the book Finite and Infinite Games explains, if someone lives only to achieve a specific result, accomplishment, or fame, they'll remain trapped in a repetitive life script, chasing endless goals with no break, accompanied by disappointment and pain when they fail or emptiness when they succeed. Have you ever swum? How do you swim to avoid sinking? Some say, tread water, push hard to stay in place. But does treading water guarantee you won't sink? Peter Gray, the world's leading child psychologist, says swimming forward keeps you from sinking. Swimming forward is, in essence, a form of balance. When you find a direction that allows you to move forward naturally, life becomes easier to balance. Many of us overlook this, believing balance comes from treading water in place. After achieving a material goal, they cling to the result, hoping life stays static with no disruptions. But then, you feel aimless, bored, and stuck. That's why the author emphasizes that a steadfast goal must stem from your inner calling, the true direction for your life. Before setting a goal, you need a clear direction. This is crucial, more important than any specific metric or action. Without the right direction, the goals you set will only lead to a life of struggle and emptiness with short-term material pursuits. In the end, all that remains is that sense of aimlessness. A goal rooted in your inner calling is one where you see your work as meaningful to yourself and the world around you. This aligns your personal vision with societal goals. The great psychologist Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, says you must align your goals with society's. This is a noble goal, one that truly holds value and meaning for your life. This nobility doesn't mean you must do something grand for humanity. It can be an ordinary job. For instance, the author visited a small-town restaurant. The food wasn't exceptional, but the restaurant had a unique trait. It hired local young people as servers. Some rebellious youths, after training, began caring for others and became upright citizens. Curious customers asked the owner about this. He said, "Our mission is to have hungry customers come in and leave with joy." In other words, the restaurant service wasn't about maximizing profit, tips, or efficiency, but about bringing joy and solving problems for customers. If any work you do can help and transform others, you're on the right path with your inner calling. You've found a truly noble purpose and meaning. A grand goal following this calling must meet 3 conditions: capability, meaning, and joy. These combine to form your calling. First, capability. You need a realistic awareness of your abilities, assessing whether you can perform well. Second, meaning. Consider what problems your abilities can solve for others. Third, joy. Can you feel joy using your abilities this way? These three principles apply to any profession. Try drawing 3 circles representing these factors and overlap them. The intersection is where you'll find your sense of mission, a clear, complete direction for your work and life. When a personal goal aligns with societal goals, it brings 3 key benefits: strength, continuity, and a state of flow. Your calling becomes a natural motivator, driving you to tackle daily tasks willingly, joyfully, and with focus. The author offers a series of steps to find your true goal. First, engage in enlightening conversations with people outside your family or close circle. Second, observe how purpose-driven individuals work. Third, reach your first moment of enlightenment by asking, what important thing in the world needs improving or fixing? Next, reach a second moment of enlightenment. What can I contribute to change this situation? This helps you recognize your own strengths. Fifth, identify your goal and start taking action. The book shares a moving story. A 6-year-old boy, after visiting Africa, set a goal to raise money for digging wells there. He began by earning pocket money, then rallied others to donate, launching a campaign called Ryan's Well. By his teens, Ryan had raised funds to build hundreds of wells in Africa. If someone, even as a young child, finds a goal tied to societal good and commits to it, they can achieve miracles. The process continues. Sixth, seek support from family. Seventh, amplify your efforts creatively to create impact in pursuing your goal. Eighth, acquire the skills needed to pursue your goal. Ninth, enhance your execution abilities. 10th, become optimistic and confident. 11th, commit long-term to your goal. 12th, apply the skills and character traits developed through this pursuit to other areas of your life. This is how someone starts with their heart's calling, finds a grand, steadfast goal, and moves forward naturally in a balanced state of joy, creating value for themselves. A sustainable goal requires a sustainable mindset. The journey to your goal doesn't demand relentless struggle, but without a pure heart, it remains out of reach. The first mindset for building goals is overcoming the culture of instant success. The culture of instant success in today's society is powerful and daunting. Everyone asks, how much do I need for financial freedom? From generation to generation, people set different material values. Today, among youth, the top value is achieving financial freedom. Of course, there's nothing wrong with pursuing it, but if society prioritizes financial freedom above all, that's a problem. If our values stop at becoming richer, more prominent, or more successful, society's rhetoric will worship utility. When people accept this as natural, more will chase it and guide their children towards short-term material goals. If this worship of utility only serves to satisfy the craving for instant success, what are the consequences? The author identifies 3: inner conflict, a sense of aimlessness, and disdain for the world. If parents push their kids to excel academically, monitor them closely, scold them for low grades, enroll them in extra classes A, B, and so on, or teach them to observe and please adults when guests visit or at others' homes just to be liked or praised, it creates inner conflict. Kids may comply but feel uncomfortable and pained. The more they do, the more meaningless it feels, leaving only boredom and disdain for many aspects of life. Parents are co-pilots, not drivers. Many parents take the wheel, with their child in the passenger seat. It's clearly the child's life, but they have no say, only following where parents lead. Parental influence on children is profound, continuous, and lifelong. So, as a parent, learn to let go of your ego. Your desires and attitudes are what matter. Forcing them on your child only distances them from their inner calling for a truly meaningful life goal. What parents can do is understand their child, spark their curiosity, and let them express themselves more. Ultimately, ignite their passion. The author calls this serious listening, seeking the spark that lights up in your child. If you're grappling with inner conflict, chasing values society exalts, Pause, listen to your inner voice, and find your own flame. Overall, this book doesn't just address youth issues, it helps us confront ourselves. Reading it, we reflect on how to support our children while asking, can I start shaping my life's goal today? No matter your age, today is the youngest day of your life. The book's advice isn't just for the young, it's for all of us. At this moment, each of us has the chance to write a new chapter for our lives. Thank you for listening. If you found this episode helpful, share it with those who need it. Give us a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to catch our latest videos each week. Once again, thank you, and see you in the next episode.